Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Race fans, good evening and welcome to Redline Racing Network. As tonight this series invades the house of that smooth Tennessee whiskey right here in Nashville. However, we're going to dial it up a notch. We're taking the action to the super speedway side of things as the Premier Sim Racers Club gets locked, ready to rock here tonight in prime time. Good evening and welcome, Matt Metler, as always, up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Booth as this 10-minute qualifying session just about 30 seconds from being wrapped up. And it looks like Travis Everett in that 13 is going to get the pole tonight, potentially his first one of the season, unless one of these drivers can dethrone him in the next 20 seconds or so. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Let's take a quick peek at the weather this evening before we get strapped in, ready to go 100 laps around this beautiful facility here in the great state of Tennessee. Let's throw that up on the big screen so everyone at home can follow along with us this evening. Again, sim time just after, 20 minutes after 9 p.m. or 22:20 for all you military folk. The winds could be a storyline tonight as it's currently static at about 7 to 9 miles an hour. Could be gusting 15 to 17 at times. That's that invisible force these drivers could have to deal with, especially coming out of the turns 3 and 4 complex. Beautiful this time of the year, 65 degrees ambient air temperature. The humidity is maxed out, and if we were on perhaps a different car with 100% relative humidity, we could be seeing rainfall in the forecast. However, not the case on the oval NASCAR side of things. Partly cloudy skies, and that's going to leave that track temp cool and calm at a balmy 66 degrees. So these cars going to be making all the grip once they get some heat in those Dr. Feelgoods. That pace car getting racked and stacked now. Let's send it down trackside as this field now gets ready to rock and roll here this evening. What in the blue blazes is going on here? As SDK did an update earlier this week, and it still has a gremlin or two. That's better. Let's see if there we go. Just like I was saying, this field getting racked and stacked, ready to rock and roll behind that iRacing.com pace car. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's starting lineup. And getting the pole position this evening from Slide Tops Racing. That's no pun intended there. The 13 machine clocking a lap of a 29.438. Going to be Travis Everett. Outside of him, the Larch. Michael Larch, always strong from Swamp Fox Motorsports. He's going to start outside row 1 in that second place position. The 54 ride clocking in for third fastest lap out there on the racetrack as Chris Medford going to start in that fourth place position. And why did that graphic disappear on me? The gremlins continue. Let's try this again. Rolling off fifth as that field now runs from Pennsylvania. Bad Boy Troy in the 5 ride. Chuck Sweety's going to start in the 6th place position, while Brad Medford in the 83 is going to roll off here 7th. Master of going faster, GT Azari in that 14 is going to start in that 8th place position, while the 9th spot belongs to Charles Woods. Rounding out your top 10, Vincent Short, followed by a Bentley Glazer in that 24 machine, going to roll off 11th, while Sean Cochran owns that 12th place position. 13th belongs to Matthew Robinson. Outside of him, Ray Poking from Miles Per Hour Alliance Racing. The 15th start here in that 15th, or that 18th is going to start in the 15th place position, while William Hawley is going to round out your top 16. And starting shotgun on the field, 17 drivers set to take the initial green flag. That is going to be Doug Wasaki. As we get ready to do business here tonight in primetime. Lights out on that iRacing.com pace car. We approach Barney in the flag stand. It's time to wipe the bus, kick the clutch, hope that doesn't bust. Into the Geico restart zone, green flag in the air, and these glorious V8s come roaring to life in Nashville. Climbing up through the gearbox here for the first time tonight. And that Jack Daniels machine leads the way here early as we fire down the backstretch. Your pole sitter continues to command this field, however. Drew Ballesteros is starting to dial up the pressure. And don't count out that Golf 1 Mustang being piloted by Michael Larch. He has been hot as of recent. He has been a force to be reckoned with in this series. Shades of last week as we see these front three cars start to break away as Everett turns the quick lap at a 29.78 as it continues to be Everett, Ballesteros, and Larch. 4 to 5 car lengths separates that fourth place machine. Piloted by Bad Boy Troy, he's up one spot from where he started into that fourth place position, while Medford in the 44 rounds out the top 5. Hornet's Nest starting to brew right behind the 44 of Medford. In fact, the 83, he's going to dial it up big time and send it in on the bottom. 83 is going to go up the hill here. That should open the door, and it does. Chuck Sweeting say, hey, if you can do it, I can do it too. He's going to try to follow him on through here. Got to take advantage of these fresh Goodyear Eagles when you can rip the bottom and roll back into that loud pedal. In fact, it's a side-by-side drag race here. Into the turns coming out of the 3 and 4 complex, I should say. Ooh, big time slide on the high side there. That's going to cost him a little bit of momentum, and that will allow Chuck Sweeting to clear and take the position. Is now Sweeting 2 spots to the good here early. In fact, 6th and 7th belongs to the Medford boys, the 83 and 44. Is Chris bleeding a couple of spots here early, as he is now in that 7th place position. He started P4. In fact, let's go on board with the 44 as he does battle out there on the racetrack. From Knightstown, Indiana, from Falcon Motorsports, you're on board. And listen to the roar of this Gen 4 V8 as it screams toward its 10,000 RPM Redline. I don't think we'll quite get there at this racetrack, but still, it is a sound of beauty, the symphony of destruction. As Stairos continues to run in that 7th place position as we go ahead and widen things back out. Trying to bring you a little bit of the in-car audio tonight, and sometimes that's a loaded gun. If things tend to get a little spicy out there on the racetrack, typically the Lego carries a similar suit, and then we got to be cautious. We got to tread lightly, but for right now, well, these drivers are still in good spirits. We'll try to bring you some of that along with the broadcast here tonight. We're currently now working lap 11 of the scheduled 100 here in the Music City 100 Nashville Super Speedway, the smaller facility across the street. We're racing the big track here tonight. I want to thank all of you for spending your evening here with us on Redline Racing Network. Is up at the front. It is getting hot and heavy. Start okay to three-way. Stairos in that 54 now carries the torch. Number 1 on the scoring pylon for the first time tonight. Michael Larch may have a different idea, though, as he is really good over the long run, and he is starting to flex some muscle in that Mustang. These 3 cars last week had a little bit of a breakaway, a kind of a league of their own, if you will. And it was kind of looking like that may happen here in the early going. However, that 4th, 5th, and 6th place card of Troy, Chuck Sweeting, and Brendan Medford have caught this lead pack. In fact, Chuck is really vibing right now, and he's using the second lane, making it work. As he currently runs in that 6th place position. Battle for the lead here. Ballesteros has his hands full. If he peeks up in his rearview mirror, he's got a face full of that Golf Mustang. As he's trying to make the 54 mirror drive, perhaps make a mistake. Let's go on board with Larch. Larch always in the conversation, always a part of the fight at the front of these things here in this Gen 4 league. In fact, if you could bet on these races in Las Vegas, he's almost a shoo-in. You can almost guarantee him to be in the top 3, if not contending for a win. Listen to him work that throttle gingerly. You see him, little counter steering coming off the corner to try and counteract that loose condition. In fact, Everett now going to try to go to the high side here, the North Carolina man. He's found some boogie on the high side of the racetrack. In fact, we got a Noah's Ark situation right here. 2 by 2, right behind the leader, and Ballesteros is cheering this on. He wants to see this battle. Hot and heavy behind him in the mirror. That should allow him to get away a little bit. This cluster of cars is doing battle, World War II, trench warfare style, big time wiggle there. But these guys right behind the leader are not saving any tire at all right now. Bad boy Troy, Michael Larch going at it. Ooh, the one almost lost it there. He really had to reel that race car, had to pedal it. 20 laps in, that's when these players are going to start going through that transition from feel good to feel bad. And if you used and abused them here in the early going, this is really when that's going to start to show. Some great racing here for that third place position. Front two cars are now single file. The 28 and the 83 are duking it out right now. As we're 20 laps into the race, we're going to go to our first Crank It Up all-out coverage. But don't go anywhere. You're not going to miss anything right here on Redline Racing Network. And feel free to turn that volume knob all the way up at home. Race fans, welcome back to Redline Racing Network. Hope you enjoyed that Crank It Up segment here as first caution on the evening currently being displayed on the Speedway, and that's not for an incident on the racetrack. That is a competition yellow. Obviously, we're using the Winston Cup 2003 scoring and rules along with it. No stage breaks then, so for all intents and purposes, competition yellow, lap 25. Is Everett going to get it done on pit road? Is he's going to lead the charge off? Is your pole sitter. Continues to shine the way here in the early going. Car on the move, though, is Ben Medford. He has had the hot hand here early. That 83 is up five positions from where he started. Your race control chiming in right now as this field gets racked, stacked, ready to rock and roll once again. Great paint scheme on that Spartan Chevrolet. Everyone chasing that smooth Tennessee whiskey, man, in that Jack Daniels 13. Very fitting, due to the fact, hey, we're in Nashville after all. Ballesteros even with the board in that 54 as he currently holds on to that final podium position in third. Troy Hart in the 28 currently occupies fourth, while Chris Medford rounds out your top five. Larch in the 1. Lost a few spots there on pit road. Typically, that is not the case for the driver of that Mustang. GT Azari in that Tony Stewart smoke-inspired Burger King 14 paint scheme currently resides in 7th, while Matthew Robinson also tied for the biggest mover up the race, up 5 positions. Remember, he started in the rear with the gear in that Natural Bite 40. Currently finds himself inside the top 10 and 8. Bentley Glazer in that Red Bull 24 more often times than not is at the front or near or inside the top 3, I should say, in that Camry. However, he's got some work to do tonight. Perhaps that car just not handling to his liking right now as he owns that ninth place position. Vincent Short even with the board in that 15 car as he rounds out your top 10. So we now work lap 30 of the dialed up 100 here from Nashville. Lights should be out on that iRacing.com pace car. And they are. Which means we're getting back to the good part this time, but the calm before the storm right now as we get ready to uncork all the horsepower and torque you could ask for inside, under the hood of these Gen 4 machines. Quite frankly, if you ask me, the way it should be. Call me old school, but I refer to the current next gen as the lost gen because, well, we've just lost our way in modern times. Not that I don't like it. It's just not, I guess. Well, quite frankly, it's not what I grew up watching and what made this sport so great. I think we kind of gotten off track a little bit. Dialed a lot of power out of these cars. Now they're pretty much a super V8 car like we see in Australia as the pace car pulls off, and here we go once again approaching the Geico restart zone. Everett's going to push it through the floorboards. Don't want to spin the tires here. This car can certainly do that. And he gets down the way beautifully as he quickly sends the 13 to the high side of the racetrack there. As he executes a beautiful restart, as does the 54 of Ballesteros. '54 thought about taking a run at it. He checks back up and down. First battle for position on the racetrack. It's the battle of the Medfords. Chris Medford going up against the other Medford to Chris Virgin. Look at this almost three-wide battle there. As the 83 now pokes his nose underneath the 54. They almost high-five each other, slap hands coming out of the corner. Check the box. Now that 83 machine moves into that second place position. Is that, I'll tell you what, he's got the Nashville rocket tonight. I mean, he is swarming all over the place here. It doesn't matter if that car's ripping the bottom, the middle, the high side. He is got some serious boogie under that hoodie tonight. In fact, here we go. He's going for it. He's going to send it in there, Bon Jovi style, living on a prayer, and he's going to clear the 13. In fact, he may hemorrhage a couple spots as the 54 is going to try to follow the 83 through. That's the problem here at Nashville, especially on new shoes. You know, oftentimes you don't just lose one spot, you lose 3 or 4. And Travis Everett continues to fall off a cliff as he's stuck on the high side of the racetrack. So he's going to try to throw himself down in front of the 14. And GT Azari's looking. GT gets on by the Red Bull Rocket, clear as well. And Everett is going the wrong direction, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Sometimes these races go lean, mean, and green. And perhaps the 13 is thinking about tire conservation here, but just have to wonder how much is too much as far as track position you're going to give up. He looks to have stabilized now in an 8th place position. Just in front of Woods in that 98 who currently occupies that 9th place position. Tell you what, once that 83 got the lead in the clean air, he is starting to check out a little bit as he's opened up about a 0.3 of a second advantage over Ballesteros. GT continuing to charge towards the front here as he's currently in 7th. Same situation for Bentley Glazer as I talked about him before the competition yellow. We usually see him mixing it up here at the front of this piece. He hasn't been there yet, but he is on his way as he's almost cracked the top 5. Great battle here between these 3 players. Bedford eating good in the neighborhood. He's vibing on the bottom. Defensive line there, not allowing the Red Bull Rocket to get back in the throttle as soon as he would like to. Able to keep that 24 at bay. Let's check down trackside with the 24. Oh, they almost made contact just as we went on board. They would take it down to the flatlands, and the last thing I want to do is invoke the broadcaster's curse on these guys. Well, you saw it, folks. I mean, these two are in a slugfest right now. Now the 24 is going to clear as the 44 lives. GT is going to try and steal a spot here. Some close quarters, up close and personal action there, right around that 4th, 5th position. As everyone continues to run down Medford, the Brandon version. One-car breakaway at the front of this train. Medford leads. Bad Boy Troy runs second. Drew Ballesteros third. And Michael Larch currently picks up the caboose here in this 4-car pack at the front. And you got about a half of a second back till you pick up this second pack of cars. And Bentley Glazer actually is putting up some of the fastest laps of the race right now. He just ran a 30-20 compared to the leader's 30-40. So he is 2/10 to the good right now, and he is coming. You can see him closing the gap on that lead group of cars right now. And right now, this race is, for all intents and purposes, falling right into his wheelhouse. One of the strengths of Bentley Glazer. He continues to run in that 30-20, that 30-20 bracket. In fact, Larch and Ballesteros have a little bit of their own grudge match going on right now. And, well, just as soon as I said that, they've got it sorted. Because that side-by-side racing is now, here comes that Golf Mustang looking to get on the inside. Typically, that's going to cost you a little bit in the speed department on the racetrack, which will only help Glazer continue to hunt down these cars just in front of him. Battle for the lead was heating up there momentarily. And it looks like Medford changed his lineup a little bit. The way he's attacking this racetrack, you can see him arcing it into the corner a little more on entry. Or earlier on, when those tires were fresh, he was taking a more shallower entry. And he has picked it up about a tenth over the past 5 laps or so. Reassume the honors of being the fastest car out there currently on the racetrack. You know, this racetrack here on the the next gen side of things, almost a one-groove racetrack because you don't have the power and the torque, but this next gen car, or this, oh my God, I couldn't have screwed that up anymore if I tried. This Gen 4 car, not quite the case when you got all the horsepower and torque. You can make that second lane work, and in fact, I've seen some of these guys running up near the wall as these tires fall off and been pretty competitive up there as well. 50 laps officially written into the history books. We're halfway home here on Redline Racing Network. We're going to step aside, pay some bills, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here in Nashville with all the high-flying racing action momentarily. fans. Welcome back to Redline Racing Network as we do battle here on the Super Speedway side of Nashville things. Good evening, Matt Metler up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth and checking in the YouTube.com live chat. Mr. Excitement himself, Hyper DJ, or better known as DJ Daniel, who was doing business in Gen 4 competition last night until he picked up a case of the limp wrist. No, I'm just kidding. He has a hand injury, and if you've ever turned a lap in this race car, you'll know this thing is possessed at times, and it was just working him over. And he had to retire from that race early. Had a chance to talk to him during the broadcast, and he was not happy about it. Such a strong competitor. He actually races in real life as well. Want to thank him for tuning in tonight, and obviously Pat, the HMFIC of the league, also showing some love in the YouTube.com live chat. Want to thank you guys for stopping by tonight, as we are now 63 laps in of the scheduled 100 here in the Music City 100. It's been all Medford, the Brandon version here at the midway point of this race, as that 83 continues to carry the torch here. Michael Larch right on cue though. The more we wear out these Goodyear Eagles, they go from Dr. Feel Goods to Feel Bad. Larch continues to hunt down the leader. In fact, it's about car length and a half at times separation between the front two here. And that one machine really gets a strong, really strong on corner entry. Ooh, he gets a little loose there as he gives it the biscuits up off the corner. Don't look now, though. Bad boy Troy is coming. As he's down off the racetrack, aggressively attacking pit road. And he's going to get it load up in time there. And I'm telling you, when there's no sight of a caution flag, you have to execute in all three phases of this race, and one of them being on pit road. He really attacked the entry there. Great job getting on the binders, looking for clean execution here into his box. And he does, as that team now going to work. Cole going to be 4 tires, 2 cans of Sunoco racing fuel here. Usually it's come one, come all. We'll see if the leader responds here. In the meantime, poking in that 46 on and off pit road, William Hawley in that 31 ride. Completed service, he is down and away. I'm going to talk about tire fall off. Medford's best lap at 29.74. Last time by a 30.72. So almost 1 second of fall off, and that is a decent amount. And remember, we're on the concrete tonight, not an asphalt racetrack. However, that cool track temp certainly helping in the tire wear department, helping extend the life of those shoes on these race cars. But still, I mean, when you have all this horsepower and torque for days, it's going to wear them out. Okay, we're trying to bring you some of the onboard audio as these drivers duel it out on the racetrack tonight. As long as that continues to stay clean, we'll keep that feed plugged into the broadcast for you. Just now 30 laps remaining. Oh, and caution on the racetrack. Getting a report that Chris Medford may have been involved. Not your leader, that's Brandon Medford in the 83. Chris Medford is in the 44. You can see some damage to that race car. Let's go back to the Redline Racing Network instant replay here and see what went wrong. Let's cue playback. Oh, he was coming down to pit road, and he got snookered in the business end. And around he goes. Nothing like catching a bulldozer to the face. And that's going to bring out the caution right in the middle of a green flag pit cycle. Let's go old school VHS mode and wind this back. We can get that to cooperate. There we go. Let's throw it up to the chopper cam. Now watch this. That's the 44 Medford. He's going to be trying to attack pit road here. And I guarantee you that other car has no idea, comes up and just clips him. Tried to avoid it, just could not jump on the binders in time. And the 44 gets flow ridered right round. So this is going to shake things up just a little bit. So we go back to the live side of things here. It's okay to three-way battling coming off of pit road. Tell you what, Medford has been on a tear tonight. Did not have the qualifying effort he was looking for, but that car has been absolutely on point since the drop of the green flag, up 6 positions. And look who has snuck into that second place spot. The master going faster, GT Azari. Michael Larch, right on cue, right where you expect him to be. With under 30 laps to go in this race in that third place position. Travis Everett continues to impress. You can hear race control right now chiming in, letting these drivers know what the deal is out there on the racetrack. Let's take a look here at the pit strategery. I'm going to throw that up bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And I thought that caution may have at least shuffled that a little bit, but it doesn't appear to be the case, as everyone in the top 10, 27 laps and then 44, your stint lengths there. But you can see the big movers right at the top of the pile, Medford and Azari. And then getting back a little further deeper in the field, Doug Wasaki getting it done. He officially the biggest mover of the race tonight, having a great run this evening. Sees the last car inside the top 10. Field getting sorted, shuffled once again. Ready to go. Green flag racing. For all intents and purposes, this is going to be a Friday night short track shootout here to the finish. This is the furthest to the point GT has been all night. Let's see if he can use some of this clean air to his advantage. Drivers getting their restart positions sorted out there on the radio. The calm before the storm here. It's like being in the eye of a Category 5 hurricane. All is calm, but not for long. Going to find out which one of these drivers are going to send it in the corners, try to stuff it like Grandma's Thanksgiving turkey. There goes the pace car, and here we go. Into the Geico restart zone. Medford leads him down. And he's going to try to catch these guys out of the snooze button. Great execution here as we're back underway from the Super Speedway side of Nashville. 2x2, side by side, door to door for second, that third place position, the 13. And that Jack Daniels machine, he's going to take a peek to the inside of GT as hard. Let's go on board with the 14. Again, these are the freshest these tires are going to be over the course of this run. So all these drivers late in the race are going to be as aggressive as they possibly can, get all they can out there on the racetrack. You can see him literally painting. Oh, hold on to it, buddy. Treacherous turn 4. That has been the slick spot here tonight. You can see him holding on to that race car for dear life as he came out of 4 there and put the hammer. Oh, God! Okay, that's enough. Don't want to invoke the broadcaster's curse here. We're bailing on that shot. As Larch just put down the fastest lap of a 29.51. Oh, we got big time problems out there on the racetrack. One guy up and over going X Games mode. Multiple cars involved here. Oh no, Doug Wasaki had such a great run going. As the bomb has went off here late in Actionville. Again, we have multiple cars involved in this incident, a very rare multiple car incident here in the Premier Sim Racers Club Gen 4 Series. Let's roll it back to moments ago. This is coming out of turn 4, and someone's going to get butchered here. Oh, the Natural Bite got a case of the blinkies. That may have caused a checkup, and the 98 gets donkey punched. Does a great job keeping it off the wall, but then watch this. Oh, dear heavens to Betsy, Lord have mercy. He goes full X Games mode off of a punt to the back end of that race car. Winds up against the fence in the Geico restart zone, pointing the wrong way, and my friend, you can't park there. Oh, this is painful to watch. I mean, he got sent a ton. So Vincent Short is in the 15 here. We go on board with him. He initially schnookers the 98 there. And I think that all started due to a checkup because Robinson got a case of the blinkies. All the escape routes quickly plug up. We got drivers going John Deere mode through the grass everywhere, trying to avoid that big one that has broke out here late at Nashville. Vincent Short on an off-pit road. As he may have the award for the Don't Stain Your Ride, Use Tide moment of the race this evening. So that car not looking too bad. Charles Woods in the 98, he had VIP tickets to that one. Bentley Glazer there in the 24, the Red Bull Rocket. He's going to have some work to do as it looks like he's going to restart outside the top 10 in that 13th place position. Race control notifying the lap down cars that they do indeed have lane choice here. I'm actually shocked every time most of the time I try to bring the in-car audio to the broadcast. We're lucky if we get 10 minutes of it before I got to cut that out. But tonight, these drivers have kept it clean, and I appreciate them for doing that. Because I can bring you the sights and sounds of the racetrack right here into the broadcast side of things this evening. Lights go out. We go dark on the pace car. In the words of Cletus McFarland, we're getting ready to let her rip Tater Chip once again here. "20 laps to settle. Pace car pulls off. Field rack stacked nice and tight here as we approach the Geico restart zone. And Medford executes once again. Into the turns 1 and 2 complex. He's going to clear Azari by about 2.5 to 3 car lengths as he fires down the backstretch. Larch challenging as they barrel down the backstretch. He is going to full send it into 1. He's going to take that spot from the 14. And he now paints a bead on the back of the 83. Two by two, side by side, Natural Bike Chevrolet rocking the top. And I think that's Drew Ballesteros in the 54 going to the high side with him, and he's under pressure there from Chuck Sweeting in the 75 run. Oh, that's exactly what you don't want to do. You don't want to King Kong the fence. And it's so easy to do coming out of Ford. You just run out of racetrack. As Medford, you guys aren't going to believe this lap. He goes purple. A 29.49. He just went 0.2 faster than any other competitor's fastest lap tonight. However, up at the front, there is a battle brewing for the lead. As Michael Larch lurches around the leader on the inside of the racetrack, throws up the deuces. Peace, I'll see you later. Just 15 laps to go this time by at the line, and Michael Larch leads for the first time this evening here in the Music City 100. This is where Larch really excels late in these races. When the pressure is on, when the intensity is dialed up past 100, this is where this driver really excels. We got someone way off the racetrack down to the flatlands there. Someone bailed way out of it. I think that might have been the 40 that was on the apron. I thought he may have had an issue there, but it seems to be okay. Got that car back up to speed. This Larch continues to hold off. A driver that has put on a solid performance behind him this evening in the 83. is the point in time of the race where, as a driver, you want to stay focused out that windshield. Don't get caught looking in your rear view mirror. Let the spotter, let your crew chief do their job. You do yours. As we are ripping conveyor belt style right around the bottom here. All these drivers still in the 29-second bracket, under 30-second lap times right now. And that is absolutely getting it done here. And again, that track temp, very cool tonight, unlike last night in Chicagoland when it was cranked way, way up. They took the green flag at 130 degrees. Tonight, just 62 degrees on that track temp. In fact, we can check back in with the weather one more time here quickly. Track temp up 1 degree, however, still under 70 degrees as we are just 10 laps remaining till we write the winner's name in the history books here tonight. It's a 3-car breakaway, or it's trending in that direction, I should say, here at the front. That's Large, Medford, and Mazzari. I thought the 83 was going to win this race. I really did, as good as that car came through the field. Like I told you folks at home, that Gulf 1 machine, anytime he is out there, Larch, and he has been on a hot one. He has been on a streak big time as of late. That late race caution. Re-racked, reset the deck, and he was able to capitalize, and he is out there doing Michael Larch things right now. In fact, he is pulling away a little bit. Fastest car on the racetrack as well. Last time by ran a 30.15 to Medford's 30.23. That Mustang really coming to life in the clean air. However, this thing ain't over yet by any means. There's still 7 laps in this race, and believe me, anything and everything can happen. Everett going to try and follow GT Azari through. How about GT in the second place? That Smooth Tennessee Whiskey is going to rip it on the bottom as well. And that may allow Chuck Sweeting to come on through. Just as I say that, the 75 kind of had to pedal it there just a little bit as they're still side by side, door to door here at the start-finish line. Now the 13 is able to clear. 5 laps to go. Gentleman's handshake lap on the board. As Larch is carving out the competition here under the lights in prime time. No mistakes here. You just want to be clean. Be smart. Don't run the car so hard where you make a mistake. You have almost a half a second advantage over that second place machine piloted by GT Azari. As it's Larch, Azari, and Everett. That's your top 3. They're holding on to the 20 positions right now. Then you have Chuck Sweeting and Brandon Medford rounding out your top 5. Uncle Chuck having a great run here tonight. coming out of 3 and 4. GT Azari is catching the one. Does he have enough time? Popsicle sticks go in the air. 2 laps to go. Under 3 miles remain. The master of going faster, GT Azari. He has been due for a win. Is Nashville the place? Can he dethrone the Music Man, Michael Larch, as they come out of the turns 4 complex? One more time around this place, and we got some big-time battle brewing for the lead. Larch is going to send it with all the lug nuts deep into the corner. He gets a little bit loose. The 14 gets loose. He goes up to the high side of the racetrack. The 1 throws the block. Does GT use the bumper here? And he does. He's going to give him the business. They bump, they touch. GT goes up the wall and sees Dale as the 13 helicopters. I can't believe what we just witnessed here. Brad Medford being scored as the winner. Holy good Lord Jesus. Let's go back. Nope, it's not showing up in timing and scoring, so we have to go VHS mode here. As I was saying, would GT use the chrome horn? That's the first time I've ever seen it deployed by the 14. Here we go. Gonna back it up just a little bit further. Oh, God, I can't watch. That was a violent collision there. Heard a little meat clench in there from some of these drivers. You're on board with GT Azari. Definitely puts a nose to the 1. Gets him loose. Gives him the business. Is he lit the timer on the nuclear warhead? The 13 uncorks a Sparrow missile as they explode top shelf of the racetrack. The 13 paid a visit to Vale. And then here we go at the start-finish line. Medford is going to get the win. What an insane finish. As I told you, folks, it is never over until it is over. So we now get ready to interview our top 3 drivers here tonight in primetime. The Music City Miracle. Here in Nashville is the 83 wins, a wild one. Filled with all the makings, the storylines, the drama that you could ever ask for. And perhaps the most exciting finish of the season. Absolutely incredible stuff here. Again, let's get ready to talk to our top 3 this evening and give them a chance to get in. The broadcast waiting room. Now, sometimes these drivers, they get so fired up about the performance on the racetrack, they actually forget about me here in the broadcast booth. And that could be the case here once again. Chris Medford finished in that 15th place position. He may be available for comment here See if we can bring him up to the broadcast booth. Chris Medford, Matt up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy there, bud. We'll try it once again. Chris, Matt up top. You got a copy there, boss.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, I know you came in 15th tonight. None of the top 3 drivers available for comment. It all went absolutely berserk. World War II trench warfare style on the final lap coming out of turns 3 and 4. What happened out there on the racetrack? Can you give me a bird's eye view of what you see?
Yeah, I seen a whole lot of open track in front of me. I was involved in that last caution. Somebody spun off the wall, and I T-boned them, so I got like 4 minutes of damage. But I watched the replay. It was some hard racing. I looks like GT must have been about 2 cars too deep. Couldn't get her load up, and then got to the one car and sent them basically spinning. I know it's the last lap. It's hard racing. I'm not sure how that would have played out, but hey, Brandon got the win, so it can't be too bad.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you guys both had great performances going tonight. And I didn't want to bring up that prior incident that you were involved in, but, man, you had a great run going before that, but just looks like you got caught in the wrong place at the right time, really nowhere to go. That kind of blew up right in front of you with that incident there.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I couldn't get 1 and 2 figured out. A lot of guys had it figured out. 3 and 4 wasn't too bad. I haven't raced as much as I wanted to on here, but it's fun. I definitely survived longer than the last race I raced in. But I mean, usually these guys are really pretty clean. I mean, we went, I think it was 50 laps, and then I got loose and then tight there off of 4, and then got hit in the rear. That's all on me. So no, I think it's a really good group of guys, and we'll go back out again next week.
Well, heck yeah, man. Chris, I appreciate you joining me up here in the Tony Trapassa Memorial broadcast booth. It was a lot of fun watching you race out there tonight. I know that 15th place finish doesn't quite justify the great run you had going, but I look forward to watching you compete out there next week and over the course of this season, bud.
Right on, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a good group of guys and everything. We should definitely, hopefully, have more run-ins. Not physically, but more racing. But yeah, I think Brandon's getting him a drink of water down there in the care center if you want to pull him up.
Oh, I see him now. Thanks for the heads up. I'm going to go ahead, put you in the infield care center, and I'll pull up the race winner. Thanks for the heads up there.
No problem. Have a good one, Matt.
You too, brother. Obviously, want to thank Chris for jumping up in the Tony Trapassa Memorial broadcast booth. However, joining me now, the master of someone else's disaster, Brandon. Congratulations on pulling off the Music City Miracle here tonight as the fireworks went big time on the final lap. You were able to part the Red Seas, find a way through. Congratulations on the win. Walk me through your run tonight, my bud.
Yeah, man, definitely didn't deserve that win. Those guys were on top of their game there towards the end. I lost my front tires there about 10 laps into that run and couldn't figure it out. But, I told these guys up off of 2, I'm like, these guys are going to make some contact. I got a chance here. And, they did exactly that going down into 3. And I was able to get down the apron and pull off the win. But overall, pretty good race for me. I got to the lead there, led a whole bunch of laps. I don't know, 50 or 60 laps there.
Yes, sir.
And, just kind of was just taking it easy. And then I was so focused. I don't even know who was in the one car, but he got up there. And I'll tell you what, there's some good racers in this league. And they proved it tonight and made me work for it.
Well, hey, man, I was going to say, I mean, I'm sure those other drivers appreciate you tipping the hat to them. But, I mean, you were on fire tonight. Obviously, you started deeper in this field. You had to work and earn your way towards the front. And you certainly did that. You had a bad hot rod out there on the racetrack tonight. And then, like you said, sometimes it's never over till it's over. The 14 decided to, use the chrome horn there on the 1 and open the door for victory. Open the door, and here you are in victory lane, man. Congratulations. That was thrilling to watch and certainly did not have that one on the script for the final lap. Usually GT not known for doing that, but I guess he decided tonight was the night. before I cut you loose, man, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on that 83?
Yeah, it's fun. Fortunately, my paint scheme's not loaded tonight, I don't believe. But, first of all, I got to thank Max for putting this deal on. He puts on one of the greatest leagues out there. He's real consistent with his calls and really sets the tone for how this races are going to go. And everybody follows suit. But great group of guys, a great series. And then thanks to all his partners. I know he doesn't do it alone. There's a lot of guys behind the scenes, and he teamed up with some people this season. So good job with him. Thanks to my brother and Doug for hopping in here with me and having a little fun tonight and cheering me on, and everybody out there watching the broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. It wasn't no lack of a show there tonight, so happy they got to see that. And then shout out to Zoe's Place, Ellie's Place, Kids Talk, all those charities that we like to race for our charity motorsports team, and then my family and all the races that came out tonight.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. The Knightstown, Indiana man had the plan as he sips on that smooth Tennessee whiskey as he wins a high-flying, high-octane packed race here at Nashville Super Speedway. Congratulations once again, Brandon. Thanks for joining me up top here in the booth.
Thanks, man. Have a good evening.
You too, sir. I'll go ahead and put you right back down there in the infield care center, and have one for me while you're at it.
You got it.
Appreciate your time. Always electric, always enjoyed talking to Brandon Medford, and you heard it right from the driver's mouth. Those Red Seas parted, and he found a path, the lighted path, or the lighted tunnel to victory lane, if you will, able to charge and cross the start-finish line first here in a high-octane thriller on the final lap here from Actionville. Well, unfortunately, it's come to that time in the broadcast where all good things must come to an end. Want to thank all the Premier Series Sim Racers Club sponsors, partners, all the men and women behind the scenes that make this league possible. Without your hard work and dedication, it wouldn't be easy to go out there and put on such great racing consistently week after week, each and every Sunday night here in primetime. And as the late, great Tony Trapasso used to say, as you go down the road of life this week, do us all a favor. Don't play in traffic, and we'll see you next time right here on Redline Racing Network.